practice today. Just what did you like from the energy level and effort from the guys today in your first practice?
Well, it's just that, the first practice, and you generally want to think that everybody's enthusiastic going out the first time. For me, it's just having a chance to see some of those guys run around and practice for a change. You see them in high school, you get a chance to see a little bit of, as they do some of the individual drills, doing our summer drills, but this is the first time, so it's like Christmas all over again. You get a chance to unwrap some of the gifts, and I'm excited about seeing these guys and hoping that some of them can actually help us in 2019.
You've been doing this a long time, Coach. I just wonder, when you go through camp, what are some of the early indicators that shows you that this team is progressing and moving in a direction that can show you that, hey, we can be real competitive by the time the season rolls around?
Well, I think as you see how your team goes by handling its business during the two-a-day practices. We don't have two-a-days anymore, but practices are still hard. It's hot, it's muggy. We'll practice a lot during the day when it's hot. So to see these guys actually go through that process and continue to hustle and show some discipline, really get into the scheme and know exactly what they're doing, that kind of stuff, it kind of gives you a pretty good idea who can and who can't help it, and whether or not this team as a whole has got a chance to have a good year.
How big does Alex Brown have to be in terms from a leadership standpoint? Taylor, sorry. My head's in the right place.
The other Alex Brown, you had it right.
Yeah. Now, how big does he have to be really for the offensive line to really flourish this year? Just not from his position, but also in terms of leading the younger guys to get them ready to really be at their best.
Well, he's a big part of the overall process as far as being able to go out and push people around and have success run the football. So, a large portion of what he'll do, I'm sure, would be by example. He's got to go out and actually work hard in all the drills and do all the different kinds of things that you got to do to help our offensive group as a whole come together. The camaraderie and the combinations of all of them, make an offensive line. We think he can be a tremendous help to us, not only because he's a smart guy, but he's a big, talented kind of individual. But more than anything else right now, we're all trying to find ourselves together so that we can be a cohesive group in a way where those guys will have a chance to actually go out and dominate something.
Good. So today was mostly about effort, just seeing the effort out there, because it's not about plays and all that. It's more about just effort.
Exactly. We've got a little bit of a thought going through this preseason camp that we want to move around better. We want to be faster. We want to be more hard-nosed. It's about discipline and know-how. And if we can get those things accomplished in a way where our team does it the right way, then I think then the rest of us just kind of make sure you got the right people in the right places.
You mentioned last year about the excitement with the youth, and is that still something that excites you? Is just seeing the youth and the possibilities?
Yeah, you're exactly right, Chris. Anytime you play as many young guys we did last year, but still, those guys come back, and some of them still have 4 years to play. It excites you in a way that, I don't know if I've had a chance to be here in a while. So, we think we got pretty much all the pieces. We're not great in a lot of places, but we're pretty deep in a lot of places. And the fact that we've got the bodies, the people in place to get all the things we think done at a pretty high level, and it gives us a chance to be a good football team.
In terms of your quarterback position and competition, can you assess that right now, and who might be the front runner? I know it's only day one.
Tyrese was probably, 100 yards last year from being the leading rusher in our conference. He had an opportunity to be, one of the top players in our league returning. It's his job to somehow or another mess up. I don't think he can, but at the same time, you never know. Corey Fields, we think, is really, a young talent. He's still a little bit on the green side. And Quincy Hill in Columbia is a guy whose skill set fits our offensive style or our offensive plan. So anytime you got guys that are getting a little bit older and gotten